Are you a healer, witch, creative, or magical entrepreneur who's ready to fill your high-ticket one-on-one or group coaching program, and you want a sales page that will do the selling for you? Maybe you're tired of having a calendar full of sales calls and you want a sales page that can clearly articulate your offer and guide interested clients to feel ready to buy without needing to talk to you first. Maybe you already have a sales page and people are clicking on it but not reaching out, and you want to feel clear on what to say and what not to say to turn interested people into actual buyers. Having sales pages for my offers has led to filling a high-ticket group coaching program with 10 clients at $1,000 each while traveling on vacation for 2 weeks and launching using repurposed content. Having 5-figure months from sales into my $5,000 evergreen mastermind with no live launching beyond daily social media content. Signing clients into my $17,000 private mentorship program with no sales calls. When you book my Cosmic Sales Intensive, you'll walk away with a full, clear, compelling sales page for your high-ticket offer that will attract ready-to-buy clients and that you can continue to make sales with for years to come. Clients who have been through this offer have created a sales page that went on to sell out a high-ticket relationship coaching mastermind, had 20 applications within 48 hours of publishing, sold several $15,000 private mentorship packages, and even had a 6-figure launch with the sales page and content strategy we created within just a few weeks. Stop losing people with fluffy language that sounds the same as so many others in your industry, and clearly articulate why your work is worth $5,000 to $10,000 plus, even when you sell things like astrology, human design, breathwork, mindset coaching, or energy work. Book your Cosmic Sales Intensive now at withsarahmac.com or via the link in my description. This is Sarah Mac, and welcome to Creative Magic Club. Together, we'll discover inspirational stories of creative entrepreneurs living out their dreams, doing the work they are most passionate about, and building wealth in magical and fun ways. While building a 6-figure income as a writer and coach, helping other women to launch their dream businesses, I've connected with so many incredible people and seen it proven again and again that you can thrive financially doing whatever it is you are passionate about. I am here to share life-changing strategies for mindset, making money, and reaching more people with your work in a business and life filled with creativity, freedom, and fun. Hi, Sarah Mac here, and welcome back to part 2 of the Easy High Ticket Sales Ecosystem 4-part training series for coaches and creatives to position your offers so incredible clients say yes to the soul work you're destined to sell. This is episode 2. If you didn't already listen to part 1, go back and listen to it. It's all on your aligned offer archetype and how to find that in your chart. It's so good. Did you love it? I want to hear about it. What insights, what were your biggest takeaways? What are you committed to implementing and changing moving forward? And today we are going to dive into part 2, which is all about why your high ticket offer is not selling and why it's not your fault, and how to use your astrology chart to decode your unique patterns of visibility wounding, nervous system resistance patterns, and unconscious client mismatches, and finally understand why this is happening so you can stop doing it and plug the income leaks in your high ticket offer launch. So here are some challenges that I have faced when focusing on launching and filling my high ticket offer. So number 1, which I'm sure we can all relate to at some time or another in our business, is just feeling out of alignment. And often we don't know we feel that until the sales are not happening. And no one has reached out, no one has bought for a while, no one is signing up, maybe you're getting no engagement, and you're in that awkward phase of, well, I'm showing up, I'm doing the thing, but why aren't the sales happening? Why are the clients not showing up? I just want to do this work. I know how life-changing it is. I know I deserve to be working with incredible clients and making a huge impact in the world and getting paid, but why is this not happening? So whether this is when you're newly selling a high ticket offer, or you maybe have been successfully selling an offer and then it simply stops selling, we have to address these misalignments. Like, here's a big one for me. and you're going to notice this theme that we're going to talk about throughout this training, is when I started slipping into more what I wanted to be talking about versus being obsessed over the problem that I'm solving for the client. So earlier in my business, I oscillated back and forth between money mindset for creatives and copywriting and content strategy as the focus of my offers. And I made the mistake at a certain couple points in my business of leading with the conversations that I was passionate about without first anchoring it into a high value transformation. So even though I knew how to sell, I ended up attracting a bunch of interested clients that actually weren't a great fit. And I ended up hearing no after no on sales calls and therefore wasn't making any sales. And this is, if you've experienced this, it's the most frustrating thing ever. And this happened again in my business when I first shifted my positioning to focus more on astrology in my brand, because that's really fun for me, before actually anchoring it back into the high value transformation of my high ticket offer. And realizing that that actually never changed. The highest value result I create for clients is filling their high ticket offers. Now I just use astrology as a tool to tailor strategy to get clients results faster and with more feel good alignment. Sometimes it can even be a small shift in how we are delivering our offer, which makes it less resistant and more fun and aligned for the stage of life that we're in. So, as an example, when I had long COVID for 15 months with fatigue and headaches, I got rid of all live calls from my calendar other than 2 calls a month for my group program. And I moved all my high ticket coaching to Voxer only. Then I made my one-on-one high ticket 10K for 6 months of Tuesday through Thursday Voxer Messenger coaching. And clients were getting amazing results. And I had so much more flexibility with managing my energy and my schedule throughout the day, making my business super easy to maintain through a difficult period of health. And now I look back on that and I'm like, I'm so grateful for that challenge that I faced in my health, because it set me up to have so much flexibility as I move into motherhood. And it was actually setting up my high ticket offers in a way that felt really accessible and easy for me, even though I had very limited bandwidth during that time in my business, that allowed the sales to just flow in with ease and for me to be making those high ticket sales. Another challenge that I have faced is hiding in super strategic content or using repurposing as a way to hide from being really seen and really creating those genuine connections with clients. So this works, right? I have content that's proven, that has enrolled into my high ticket offers. I've repurposed multiple times and has made me thousands of dollars when I've reused it. But there's a difference when you're not fully showing up in your launch and when you're unconsciously sabotaging and hiding because maybe you're going through a challenge and it feels very vulnerable, or it feels confusing, or it just feels hard to be fully seen. And I've been through so many periods like that in my business, as I'm sure we all identify with, especially having personal brands. So when I have felt insecure about current challenges that I have faced, I stick to talking about past results. And that works to an extent, but the big piece that I was forgetting is that being a human going through challenges is what builds the trust and connection necessary to guide a client through the transformation of my high ticket offer. And in fact, when I do show up and I am vulnerable about challenges that I'm facing, things that I'm navigating in my life and my business, that actually creates so much more trust and connection. And I'm still able to create high ticket sales even when things are not going perfectly. And yes, repurposing proven content, it can work, but not as well as being a whole human and being vulnerable, which creates that connection with high ticket clients the fastest. And this is true, especially now more than ever with the rise of AI, and personal brands and humanness is going to become more and more of not just an asset, but a necessity to connect with clients and to attract clients online. Another challenge that I have repetitively fallen into, and that, is obviously a major thing that I help clients with, is overcomplicating launch strategy and content. So an example of this can be getting lost in other people's frameworks, or spending more time planning than creating and actually sharing and hitting publish and having conversations with clients and interested people in your community. You know, this has shown up for me as writing super long captions. I mean, I pretty much built my business writing like 500 to 800 word posts on Facebook, which obviously I had to shift once I moved over to Instagram as my predominant platform. And even when I was on LinkedIn building an audience there, the character counts are significantly less. And that was a challenge for me. But learning to get straight to the point of my most powerful message, yes, that process was difficult in the beginning, but now it takes me less time. But falling into the trap of being too rambly and not being to the point enough, it can take so much more time than necessary than when we really train ourselves to be strategically focused in the actions and the conversations that we are having, so that every time we invest time and energy into content, into client conversations, into our brand visibility, into showing up, it is leading to client relationships that leads to high ticket sales. And by getting caught up in all the busy work or trying all the tactics and the different content types or the different strategies, all that really is avoiding is doing the necessary work to put your work into simple, impactful, client-focused messaging. And again, creating what's fun versus what will convert also falls into this category of overcomplicating. And this is a fine line, and this is a conversation I'm always navigating with myself as a creator and as an online brand. But guess what? Getting paid thousands of dollars, it is the most fun way to launch. And I bet you agree with that. So really choosing the simple, profitable strategies that gives you the freedom outside of your business, so you're not spending hours and hours on your online content. And then another big mistake that I have fallen into that is one of the biggest causes of really blocking your sales flow is being me-focused versus being client-focused. So if this is the main thing you take away from this training, it will transform your ability to sell and launch. So really, being obsessed over launch strategy and the to-do list and the task list and the content versus being really obsessed over connecting with your clients, having conversations with your clients, solving problems for your clients, and getting better and better at doing that with more skill, with more accuracy, with more speed. Once you flip into that mindset, you will start making sales so much more easily and so much more quickly than trying to build the perfect launch strategy. Another really common problem that I see clients facing that I'm constantly navigating them back off the ledge from is speaking to the wrong client. So it's very common to start to speak to client objections that you might be hearing in your inbox or on sales calls versus the version of the client that is ready to invest now, that wants the transformation, is ready, wants the mentorship, is really committed to doing the work and doing the hard things that are required to create radical transformation and big, valuable results in their life. And it's so easy to fall into thinking that you need to speak to the people who are already in front of you already and get them to the place where they are the person that is ready to invest, rather than choosing to speak to the kinds of clients that will really move your business to the next level because they are actually the right fit to invest in your offer right now. And the benefit of speaking to that client is it naturally does do that with the rest of your audience. It's going to move them closer to being ready to invest and having the level of mindset and commitment and devotion and willingness to create real transformation and be the kind of person who will thrive and create amazing results inside an offer like yours. So here are some of the solutions that help me to unlock an easier sales flow. So encountering my resistance to being repetitive and, being resistant to talking about the same thing to sell my offer. What really helped me with that was learning to use my astrology chart as a tool to continuously reconnect to my mission, to my brand legacy, to my most compatible client, and to my gifts and my strengths and my challenges, as well as to support my gifts and my strengths, as well as to support my challenges. And we're going to talk about Chiron And if you've been listening to my podcast and you've been tuning into my content for a while, you know this is one of the major placements I work with my clients when it comes to brand storytelling. Really working with our Chiron placement is just the key to overcoming resistance to getting vulnerable in our content. And it unlocks the type of content and storytelling that builds so much trust and connection that not only does it attract deeply compatible clients, but they become the easiest sales ever because people are sold on you, because they see the truth of who you are and what it took for you to get to where you are today. And when people are on board with that, they are the perfect fit for your offer. They're going to get the most out of your work and they will create incredible results. And that's why that compatibility is so important. And once I learned to do this for myself, and learned to translate my insecurities and the things that I felt weren't good enough about me to be talking about on the internet. Once I learned that those were the things that my clients actually needed to hear from me to feel seen and to build trust and to know that if I can create these results in spite of all of my hangups and insecurities, that they can too. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to feel incredibly confident and shiny and at our best all the time. We just need to be ourselves, and we need to accept that, and we need to be transparent and vulnerable about that in order for our clients to be able to fully connect and to see themselves in us. So this has led to the easiest sales ever, with clients finding me through my online storytelling, landing on my sales page, applying for my high ticket offers, already ready to work with me. And going through an ecosystem like a free offer or even an introductory level offer, which we will talk about in the following trainings. And for most of the years in my business, I haven't needed to hold sales calls because my content does all of that selling for me. Or I'll have a simple email conversation or a DM conversation back and forth. So why do clients already feel so sold on my offer? Because they know my story. They know me, and most importantly, they know the relevant parts that qualify me to lead them through to the result of my offer. And that all starts with the offer positioning, which we talked about in part 1. So the next piece is nervous system repatterning. So using creative ritual based on my astrology chart to create connected, authentic storytelling content that reverberates with soul clients. Let's be honest. Copy pasting other people's content formulas won't work unless you're able to bring that unique edge and that authenticity to the work that you are sharing. So it's so important to find ways to connect back to really how fun it is to live out your mission and to make more impact on your community, and really leading from the heart versus the head. And this is a constant negotiation, right? We want those proven strategies and frameworks, and the simple high ticket sales strategies and frameworks and brand storytelling approaches that I teach have worked for me from the beginning of my business, all the way back when I had my copywriting agency back in 2016. So these are tried and true approaches, no matter what the algorithm is doing, no matter what platform you're on. And they're actually quite simple. It's really the constant negotiation with our creativity, with our insecurities, with our visibility, with our ever-evolving abilities and creativity and desires as humans and as service providers. That's the complicated part. And that's what our astrology can just help us to anchor back into who we are and to help us find that clarity and that conviction, no matter what new iteration of our work might look like. So you may have heard the saying, get in your head, you're dead. But we want to build skills and train ourselves in these frameworks that work no matter what you're selling, no matter your price point, no matter the type of client, no matter the type of offer, and really understanding the fundamentals of those step-by-steps that need to be there when you launch an offer, and then to really be able to lead from a place of heart and authenticity within that. And to get to the place where, as I now feel in my business, I just get to show up as me. I just get to speak from the heart about what I want for my clients, what I'm capable of doing for them, and why I believe in my offers. And that can feel as effortless as talking to a best friend. So the next part of the solution that it's so important to pay attention to is knowing the client that's the right fit for your offer and speaking to them so clearly in all of your storytelling and your positioning and your offer pitches. And this applies even if you have no idea if this type of client is in your audience yet. And this is really what we dive into deeply in my group program, is using your astrology in detail to clearly target those most compatible clients in your storytelling and to really lead with the parts of your story that will attract the type of people who are ready to invest in a high ticket offer and transformation like yours. Because sometimes the difference between a dream client and not a dream client is sometimes extremely subtle. And sometimes major repositioning in your offer is actually needed. So that is really what I'm here to help you with. And I want to give you a client story of one client who is really a trailblazer in the yoga, bodywork, and movement teaching space. And she had a lot of mindset resistance to work through to really give herself permission to do things differently, to raise her prices above others in her industry, and go from a bodyworker to charging hundreds per hour for her intellectual property and mentoring work, which was obviously a lot less taxing and exhausting than the hands-on bodywork that she was doing one-to-one. And when she launched this new offer, she immediately sold 5 spots within a matter of days. And that gave her the confidence to really go on to work on launching a high-ticket mastermind where she's now going to be able to charge thousands for a scalable group offer for her mentoring work, which just creates so much more capacity in her life to parent, to surf, to grow her business, while reducing the amount of hours doing that more hands-on one-to-one bodywork and creating so much more energy and bandwidth, while also making more money and being able to impact more people in her industry than ever before. And she said herself that it was using her astrology that grounded her in both the strategy and the mindset and self-belief to really follow through on that strategy, to create that evidence that it works when you follow your blueprint, and trust that you are here for a reason, and to really find the courage and conviction to move through the resistance to bring that vision for your leadership and impact to life. It's so, so good. And she had the best launches and income months of her business while also creating so much more spaciousness and time freedom as a parent of a young kid, thanks to following her blueprint and just constantly anchoring back into her astrology. Even though she comes from a science background and she was actually really skeptical about astrology in the beginning. So I love her story. So the main takeaway from today's training is that we all subconsciously sabotage growth, especially if you're in my world, because I attract revolutionary trailblazers who are super creative, who have big visions and are here to create big change in the world. And using astrology as a tool is just a powerful way to shortcut that resistance and to shift it and to come back again and again to the mindsets and to the strategy that not only is aligned for you, but it's the fastest path for you to be able to do your work that you love and to make the impact that you're here to make and to grow your income without sacrificing your health or your family life or your creativity. So in the handout for this training, you're going to find prompts based on your Chiron placement to identify your unique patterns of visibility wounding, nervous system resistance patterns, and unconscious client mismatches. So it's so, so, so important to be working with these unconscious resistance pieces that come up at every single level of becoming more visible, reaching new income levels. And this, our Chiron is where we look to in our chart when being seen feels risky, even when we have a really solid offer, right? And when we are hiding behind strategy or repurposed content or educational teaching content, this is where we look to guide us into the right kinds of vulnerability, because we absolutely do not need to share everything and anything online, but it's about really being strategic and knowing which parts of our vulnerability are really important to our clients and to making those connections and to building trust and to building belief that they too can create the result that our offer can help them to create. So Chiron is the unlock for the vulnerability that leads to fast, powerful, and deep client trust building and connection, which honestly has become more important than ever in the online landscape, because you've probably heard the concept of trust recession, particularly when it comes to coaching and mentoring. So this is really an absolute non-negotiable. And it's the thing that I really feel like I support my clients the most with, because we all do it. Like, I need support with this, even after being, a messaging strategist and really embodying these skills for a decade. We still resist. I still resist sharing those parts of my story that I either take for granted, or they feel too vulnerable, or they don't feel good enough or shiny enough. And we need someone to hold a mirror up to our brilliance and up to the parts of us that we have uncertainty around. Because when we share those, we become the permission slip for others. And that's such an important part of our leadership as personal brands. So Chiron really teaches you where you learned it was not safe to be fully seen. And so that wound is really quietly infiltrating your content tone, what you avoid saying, what version of yourself you allow your clients to see and to get to know. And so much of this unconscious. And we can see this in my pattern, how I slipped when I felt insecure, or I felt like there was, I was going through transitions, or I was going through challenges. I slipped into leaning on what felt sure, leaning on what felt secure and proven, hiding in astrology content because it felt safer than like being honest about my uncertainty in my pivots and my business. Or talking about past wins instead of being a human and sharing what I have been going through, which I'm at a baseline I'm pretty good at in my business, but I'm always challenging myself because there's always an edge. There's always an edge that we're not meeting. And when we meet it, it just unlocks that next level of leadership and impact. The moment you allow yourself to truly be seen, you create trust and connection more quickly than anything, and that is the unlock to more sales. So your sales slow down when you are not meeting your edge around your Chiron placement, and trust and sales build when you speak from it. So in the worksheet for this training, you're going to find some prompts to dive into around visibility wounding, nervous system resistance, and client mismatches. So I want you to dive into those, answer the prompts for your Chiron sign, and share your takeaways and your new commitments with me in the group Voxer chat, or send me a DM on Instagram at Sarah Mac Magic. I want to hear about it. So use this invitation as a practice to lean into being more visible and vulnerable around your unique Chiron blueprint. Speak the things that make you shit yourself with nerves around speaking into. Use this container as a safe space to create that evidence for your nervous system that not only is it safe to be all of you and to be seen in all of who you are, but that it does create unlock, and it creates connections and celebrations and impact. And watch as it becomes the magic unlock for client attraction when you start to use that with confidence in your brand storytelling and your content and your launch. This is what will attract the right types of clients who truly will benefit the most from your work and be the easiest clients to sell to and to work with. So the next training, we are going to dive into soul-aligned pricing and positioning, and how to price to attract dream clients and easy sales that make your income goal easy to hit, and what I learned to do instead of dropping your prices to make sales more easily. I can't wait to hear how this training landed for you, and I will see you tomorrow. Sending you so much love. Bye.